9 o'clock.
Now, as promised, we'll talk more about our breaking news here this afternoon. 2 people in custody in a police station in South London. They've been arrested after 3 women were rescued from a house in the capital by Scotland Yard's human trafficking unit. Just to remind you the details that Scotland Yard have given journalists in the last few minutes, saying that all 3 women had been in that property at least 30 years. And as the police are describing it, they had never seen a case on this scale. Well, there is a charity that is very much involved in this case and essentially in helping with the rescue of these women. It's a charity called the Freedom Charity. And let's talk now to Aneeta Prem, because she is the founder of that charity and joins us from our studios in Norwich. Hello, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
I appreciate there are going to be some specifics that you can't go into for obvious reasons, but if you can, as much as you can, explain your charity's involvement, because the police have been saying this afternoon that one of the 3 rescued women telephoned your charity.
Absolutely. I mean, what had happened was one of the women, I think all of the women had seen me on the news, and the caption underneath was Freedom Charity, and that was one of the things they knew that they needed. They knew they needed their freedom. So they phoned up our call centre, were dealt with very sensitively, and they were believed completely on what they were saying. And at that point onwards, we were involved in negotiations with them in helping them to be rescued.
So staff at your charity contacted the police, and it became from there. Is it fair to say that from there it became a joint operation, if you like, because you presumably have the skills and the understanding as to what was going on inside that property?
There was a real, if you wanted an example of excellent partnership working between the Metropolitan Police and Freedom Charity, this is a perfect example where we were able to involve ourselves with the police and really ensure that the safety and the rescue of these women were paramount.
Are you able to tell us, I mean, the police are describing them as deeply affected. Are you able to tell us just what sort of help you give them now, how they're coping? Talk us through the situation that faces them now today as they are in a place of safety.
Well, we've ensured that they are in a place of safety, that they're as happy as they can be given the circumstances, and they're being given every piece of help that can be afforded to them. But one of the things that's going to have to happen is they're going to have to try and rebuild their lives, and that's going to be very difficult for women that have spent 30 years being held against really their will. So I think it's going to be a very difficult situation, but I think it's also a story of great hope that despite this horrendous tragedy of being kept in these circumstances, they are now free and they're able to start to rebuild their lives slowly, but it will start to happen for them. So we are really pleased that we've been able to do this. And I think, you know, on rare occasions you can say that you have helped someone save lives, and I think as a charity we need to be really proud that we have done that. And to all the team behind Freedom that are there that ensure that this happens very positively. And if someone picks up the phone and they're in danger, they know that there will be someone there to make a difference.
But police have described the 3 women as being held at a domestic address. That's the phrase the police are using. So how much are you able to tell us about the circumstances, how they were held, how it was that this went on for so very long?
I think one of the things about being in a very busy capital city, we often don't know our neighbours, and if you're looking at an ordinary residential street with ordinary houses, women to be kept in such a way almost seems unbelievable, but that's what we're looking at. People that were kept against their will in an ordinary residential street in the centre of London, so that's quite difficult to comprehend, but that's what we're looking at.
And they were kept for what purposes? To run the house, to clean, to skivvy? What can you tell us about what was going on and why they were held?
I think the most I can say at this stage is domestic servitude, that they were, you know, basically treated as domestic slaves, really. I think that's the only way I can describe that right now.
And what would you say about the courage of the one woman who made that decision to phone you? Because given the length of time, given what you're talking about, that in itself strikes me as an extraordinarily courageous act.
hugely courageous, and the bravery that it takes to pick up the phone just because you see someone on the TV and believe that you can relate to them is amazing, actually, that she had the courage to do that. And the negotiations that took place with Aneeta from the charity that spent a long time speaking to her and ensuring that trust was gained, that we could do all we could to ensure that they were all taken out of this horrendous situation.
Aneeta Prem, it's very good to talk to you. Thanks for explaining what you're able to at this delicate stage. Perhaps there will be times in the future when we can talk again. Thanks very much, Aneeta Prem from the Freedom Charity.
Well, just to tell you, and we've mentioned this line already, that the police have been saying they've never seen a case on this scale.